Welcome everybody to our information session for this afternoon. We're going to get started in a few minutes. We're just going to let people get settled as they just recently joined. Just some reminders that if you're raising your hand, we won't be able to unmute you. Your videos and your microphones are currently disabled. So if you do have questions, please put that in the Q&A box there. As you could see down below, there's that bar, and then you have your Q&A box where you could put or type in your questions. All right, we'll get started. Once again, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Genevieve. I'm a post-secondary recruiter here at SAIT, and we are joined by our subject matter expert tonight, our Associate Dean, Jennifer Brown. This session is for the entrance testing process from the School of Health and Public Safety. We're going to start with a short presentation through a video, which you could also access up on our SAIT website. I'm going to put the link down in the chat there for everyone to see. And you could rewatch the same video after this info session. At the end of the video, we will also be answering your questions. We will only answer questions pertaining to the entrance testing process. If you have questions about the transcripts, we may not be able to answer those, as our admissions team will be able to answer. So I'm going to put emails that you could reach out to at the end of the session in case you have questions about applications or transcripts that we're not able to answer. Also, we ask that you don't share your student ID numbers or any of your personal information on the Q&A box. Says this is a public webinar, and we don't want anyone to access any of your information as well. All right, so we'll get started. I'll play the video here, and I'll just make sure that I share sound.
We're here to guide you through the entrance testing process for the School of Health and Public Safety's Allied Health programs. Are you ready to launch a rewarding career in healthcare? This video shares important information about the entrance tests you'll need to take to apply to any of the following 6 programs: Diagnostic Medical Sonography, Medical Laboratory Assistant, Medical Laboratory Technology, Medical Radiologic Technology, Nuclear Medicine Technology, Respiratory Therapy. Please note, the entrance testing process is not open to international applicants. We strongly recommend completing entrance tests before applying to your program, as seats are offered on a first qualified, first offered basis. There are 2 different online tests used in our entrance process. The profession-specific entrance assessment is used to evaluate your ability to understand and follow directions. The Casper test is used to assess your situational judgment. These tests give you the chance to show us who you are as a person beyond your grades and application. Your first step is to figure out if you have to take both exams before applying. The Medical Laboratory Assistant and Medical Laboratory Technology programs do not use the Casper exam in the entrance testing process. All other allied health programs require you to complete both entrance tests. It's important to note that you are not able to retake any component of the entrance testing process. Applicants are required to reapply to the program for the next intake. Now, let's take a more detailed look at these 2 exams. Let's start with the profession-specific entrance assessment. This written exam is designed to evaluate your capacity to understand and follow directions. This online test includes a combination of multiple choice and short answer questions focused on math, reading, career awareness, typing skills, and reasoning. The test is taken on a secure platform using screen captures and video monitoring. If you're applying for multiple programs, it's important to note that you will need to complete one profession-specific assessment for each program and intake. There is a fee for each assessment, and please remember that once you pay for the test, you must write it immediately. The fees are non-refundable. To take this test, you'll need a laptop or desktop computer with a camera, microphone, and a strong internet connection. Since this test is multiple choice and short answer, the scores are generated automatically. Your score is also sent directly to your program. To create an account to take the test, please visit certification.medal.com/state/applicant/signup. Now, let's move on to the Casper test. Casper stands for Computer-Based Assessment for Sampling Personal Characteristics. It's designed to evaluate your situational judgment by asking what you would do in a real-world scenario. For example, what would you do if a group member wasn't contributing to a project? How would you help a coworker navigate a conflict? The Casper test helps us better understand your ethics, empathy, problem solving, and collaboration. It's your chance to show us who you are as a person based on more than just your grades. The online test takes 1 to 2 hours to complete and asks you questions based on 14 different scenarios. Your responses are timed, and you'll answer with a combination of written entries and recorded videos. You'll need to create an account and book an appointment ahead of time to take the test. Please note, all test times are in Eastern Standard Time. If you need to reschedule, you can do so for free 30 days or more before the scheduled date. Otherwise, there is a fee to reschedule 30 days or less from the test date. To take the test, you'll need a laptop or desktop computer with a camera, microphone, and a strong internet connection. It's best to wear professional clothing for your video and make sure your environment is quiet for the best quality audio. There is a fee to write the test and a fee to distribute it to each program you're applying to. Test fees are non-refundable. The Casper test can only be taken once each academic year, and only one result can be accepted per application. If you're applying to multiple programs, you will need to write the test once and then distribute your score to each program. Your score will be sent directly to the programs you have chosen to distribute your score to 2 to 3 weeks after completion. To book your Casper test, please visit acuityinsights.app/dates-times. The Casper test is scored by a diverse group of people. Each section of a test is scored by a different person, and the group of raters reflects the diversity of the population. Your score is sent directly to the program you've chosen to distribute your score to about 2 to 3 weeks after completion. While you won't receive your Casper test score, you will receive a quartile, showing how you performed relative to your peers on the types section for the test. Please note that your raw score, not the quartile, is run through a program-specific rubric and assigned a weight. We use this weighted score to help us decide whether or not you've met the admission requirement for the program. You won't receive an email stating your score has been delivered. However, you can check the reservation section of your Acuity account. It will read, "Completed, results delivered," to show your score has been distributed, or "Completed, results pending," if your score has not yet been shared. We know taking a test can be stressful, so here are some of our top tips for success. Since both tests are online, it's key to have reliable, high-speed internet to ensure your connection doesn't fail. Make sure to check your microphone, camera, and internet to avoid any technical problems. Any tech issues that aren't related to the test platform are considered your responsibility, and rewrites will not be granted. Remember, don't refresh your browser at any time, as this can cause the test to be submitted prematurely. For the Casper test, you'll have access to several practice scenarios on the website, so you can prepare in advance. When it comes to the profession-specific entrance assessment, you should review the academic admission requirement subjects for your specific program. You can also review more career-specific information on alis.alberta.ca. It should also be noted that all applicants are held to state's Student Code of Conduct, and cheating is strictly prohibited. It's important to remember to use the same name and email address for each entrance test and application to ensure the timely processing of your application. If you're having technical difficulties, there are great online resources within both of the test platforms, including live chat and support lines. Since your entrance test scores are sent to the programs you're interested in, all you need to worry about is completing your application. Please note that an overall entrance test score of at least 50% is needed to meet the non-academic admission requirement. Before applying through Apply Alberta, make sure you meet all the minimum program requirements located under the Admission Requirements tab of the program website. You will also need to submit your transcripts and any other requested documents. If you're currently in high school or are upgrading one or more of the admission requirements, you must provide sufficient evidence of your course enrollment. You can do this by providing a screenshot or copy of your class schedule showing enrollment in the required subjects or transcripts with future subjects shown. Once your entrance test scores, completed application, and application documents have been received, a decision will be made. If you still have questions or need support, please reach out to us at hps.info@sate.ca.
All right. Thank you everyone for watching that video. I can see that there's already questions there on the Q&A box. Jennifer, do you want me to read the questions out for you? Okay.
I think I can probably answer them, and then we'll know whose it is by my answer, I guess. So
Okay.
I'm seeing a question about, can you take the test if you are in a different country like Bangladesh? Again, as long as you're a domestic student, yes, absolutely. So you can take the tests from anywhere around the world, as long as you have the internet and a good quality internet, because we want to make sure that that you have access to a webcam. All of those pieces are important. But yes, you can write both the Casper and the PSEA, or the profession specific tests. You can write them from anywhere. Obviously Casper, the thing to keep in mind is if you're writing from the other side of the world, is that the time zones are in Eastern Standard Time. So it might be that the Casper test is at 6 p.m. and it might be that the Casper test is at 6 p.m., but that's 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it may be writing it in the middle of the night for you. So can Casper and PSA need together to be 50%, or individually it needs to be 50% on Casper and PSA? So the 50% is on the rubric. So the rubric, actually, your score on, it depends on the program, but your score on the program specific and Casper often needs to be much higher than 50%, but it's the rubric that we have that needs to be 50%. And it could be a little bit different, like the Casper could be a little bit lower. I think the other thing is that Casper often grades things on a Z scale. So yeah, so there's a bunch of different pieces in there as well too. So it's 50% on the rubric, which includes both Casper and the program specific. But just because you receive 50% on the test doesn't necessarily mean you will or won't pass, because it's based on a rubric. Hopefully that makes sense. Do we wait to get the results of the test and then apply? No, you'll want to apply right away. You actually don't receive the results of the test. Sometimes Casper will send you where you are, like in a bit of a range, but no, you don't get the results of the test. So you can apply right away. You don't need to wait to get the results of the test. I already booked an appointment for the Casper test. Will I be emailed the test? So Casper is a test. You'll be emailed a specific time, and you sign up for a specific time that you're going to write the test. So hopefully that helps to answer that question. Oh, sorry, things are jumping around again. Where do I go to register for the test? I think, Jen, if you can pop the website in there, even just our state website, and then that will give them both, because you have to register for the Casper and the program specific. Can we wear headphones to use a microphone for the test? You cannot, unless you need a specific accommodation around that, and then you need to work with our accommodations department around that. So no, you can't use headphones to use as a microphone during the test. Someone is asking, how much is the test fee? Casper, oh, this is testing my knowledge. I don't know, Jen, if you have it on the website there. The program specific is $25 American, and Casper, I think, is $45, and then each program you distribute it to is 12, but maybe 16 or 15.
So up on the website here, it's for Casper, the fee would be $50 Canadian, plus $16 per program.
That you distribute it to.
Yes, and for the profession-specific entrance assessment, it would be $25 USD.
Perfect.
Per program.
Awesome. I had one right. What time of year are you able to take them? So I think it depends on which program you're talking about. So some of our programs are closed already, and you're not able to apply anymore. So you'd want to wait until summertime to take them for fall of 2025. Other ones are open right now, like the med lab assistant, respiratory therapy, some of those, so you can take those tests right away. I see Jen is answering some of them here as I go. No, so someone asked if you've taken the test previously, if you could use it again. No, you can't. You have to take a new one each year. Can I use the same Casper test for 2 different programs or school health tests? So Casper, you do one test. It's really looking at your overall healthcare empathy and your healthcare aptitude. So you just do one Casper and then you distribute it to different programs. The program specific is specific for each program. So you have to write a different one for each program. Where are we going here? Sorry,
Yeah, it keeps on jumping.
I know it jumps when I think there's been too many. Can you take the PSEA more than once, or is it similar to Casper where you take it? So it is similar. The program specific is similar, that you just take it once per application period. So if you take it again, we'll only take your first result. Hi, an MBA for marketing, hold professional experience in Canada, I'm a permanent resident in Canada. I want to change my career from MBA to marketing. So no, you don't necessarily have to have a medical background to take. I mean, we have lots of high school students who take our programs too. So you don't necessarily have to have a medical background. You do need to make sure that you have the prerequisite courses. So it might be something that you want to, especially if you've taken the course a long time ago. So if you're like me, I did high school a fair number of years ago. And so you might want to reach out to our admissions group to see what would be the most beneficial there, because the courses that you've taken may not have translated. So yeah, it's definitely, you don't necessarily need a health background to work in any of these areas, but you do need to meet the prerequisites. So again, having that conversation. So there's these non-academic ones that we've talked about, the 2 tests, but then there's also the academic requirements that you need to meet for the programs. Is there any specific study material other than the ALICE website that we need to know for the PSEA test? Not specific. I mean, the ALICE website is good. Doing research into your program is a really important thing. Understanding, what type of work is it? We really want to make sure that we have a good fit for people who come into our program. So that's really important to us. So those questions are always part of the program specific test, is making sure that you really understand, oh, do you have to give a needle, or what are the gross or difficult things about the job? Do you understand what those are before getting into it? And then the other things when you're looking at your program specific test are things like your math and your English. So some of those prerequisites that you need to get into the programs, reviewing some of those as well too is always helpful for people studying for that test. Oh, perfect. That was another one about the program specific test. If there's a program specific math section, again, I think going in and reviewing curriculum, like grade 12 math, if you just go on Google and look at that. I have kids who are in high school and we love Khan Academy. So that's always a good one if you're looking for that as well too. There's a question, can I apply while I'm doing my upgrading? Absolutely. So you have the ability to declare your grades when you apply into the program. You need to make sure that you are meeting the academic requirements once you finish the course. So for example, if you are upgrading your physics class, if that's one of the, and again, we have many different programs here in health and public safety, but some of them require physics. So say if you're upgrading physics, and you need to be getting a 75%, say the X-ray program is what I'm thinking of, you need to be getting a 75% average. If you don't get a 75% in that course, then you won't be able to get a seat in that program. So you can apply, you can declare, yes, I'm going to get the 75%, but if you don't, then you don't get that seat. Are the admission requirements the same for a mature student? Again, I would recommend reaching out to admissions. So generally, yes, we need to make sure that everyone's meeting the same requirements, but it maybe is a question for them. I know sometimes if people have like a university degree or the ability to apply some things, that might be something that they can think about. When would you recommend taking the test when you're applying for fall 2025? So the test will open this summer. So I would recommend doing it in the summer or early in the fall, especially for our high demand programs. But for all of the programs, we do start to offer seats very quickly after applications open. So if you've done your tests already and then you apply, the chance of getting a seat is greater at that time. Is there any evening classes in any of these programs? Not at the moment. So none of the programs have evening classes. I will say one of the things that we recommend or we want people to think about is in many of the programs, there are courses that you can do through something we call open studies. So whether that's a medical terminology or anatomy is another good example, and you can do those as evening classes, but you do them often before the program starts. And then when you are in the program, then you don't have to take that course. It helps to lighten your load a little bit, which is nice. Next question I see, are you able to apply for multiple programs? Yes, absolutely. Please, we encourage you to apply for multiple programs. So yeah, you can do that. I noticed the video said to complete the test before applying to the program. Is it preferred to complete the tests before the application period opens? Again, it depends on the program. We want you to do both. So you're able to do the test beforehand, and then once the application opens, then we can look at all of those things. But if you didn't, so if the application opened and you did the application, you can do the test after too. So we encourage you to do them beforehand, but it's not a requirement to do them beforehand. The entrance test available for September 2024 for MRT. I'm pretty sure MRT is closed. Their applications are closed for MRT for fall or for September of 2024. I'm just gonna have a quick look. MRT program. They usually close the end of January, but I could be different this year.
Yeah, it closed January 31st.
Yes. Okay, so that's closed. How would the admissions look like if you were already a SAIT student? I'm a business student graduating in April in the BBA program. I want to switch over once I graduate. Admissions would look very similar. We can look at some transferability, but generally, the courses in our business programs and our health programs are quite different. So yes, you would still need to apply as a SAIT student. Someone's asking how they get a SAIT ID. So once you apply into a program, then you get a SAIT ID. So you have to do an application first.
I think they're also maybe asking about when they're taking the PSEA and it is asking for a SAIT ID, I believe. Do they need a SAIT ID?
Good question, Jen. So yeah, we don't make that a required field. So if you have done the process where you apply first and then you write the test, you will have a SAIT ID and you can fill that in. If you haven't applied yet, so you're writing the test before you've applied, you won't fill in your SAIT ID because you don't have one yet. So once you apply, you get one, but that's not a required field. So you can skip over it when you're writing your tests. Any grant, scholarship, student aid given? That's student dependent. There's lots of different awards and scholarships that are available for students. So certainly you can Google SAIT awards and there's lots of opportunities there. And in each one of these programs, there are specific awards in each of them. So that's a great support from SAIT. Someone has all the prerequisites they completed in school a while ago, and so do the courses still qualify for the program? Really an admissions question. They are the experts at looking at all of different requirements from different times and different countries, and then translating that into what we need for our program. So yes, I definitely encourage you to reach out to admissions, and they should be able to help you there as well too. A question around university. So will your university versus your high school? Generally, we do look at high school, but again, it's an admissions questions to ask them, if I did biology in university, is that equal to science 30 or something along those lines? So again, it's a question for admissions. Jen and I are not experts at, all of the different courses that are out there, but they are. We have people who are, so it's just not us. But yes, the admission questions.
I just want to add to that, Jen, that we do have how to apply Ask Us Anything information session with the admissions team. And that would be February 27th, I believe. And I put the link down there for you to register. So any transcript questions or admissions questions, you could join that session and our admissions team will be there to answer your questions.
Thank you. I feel like I'm catching up. I'm on 5:25, which is like 2 minutes ago instead of like 10 minutes ago. So do you use the same SAIT ID as a previous application? So yes, once you get your SAIT ID, that is your lifetime SAIT ID. So you will continue to use that SAIT ID. So it is the same one from previous applications, or if you were a student before, all of those things, your SAIT ID follows you forever. Is it possible to start the process now if they have a chance to get into fall 2024? So for some of our programs, absolutely open for fall 2024. The two that this person was looking at were medical lab technology, which is closed as well. So you can't get into medical lab technology for fall 2024, but medical lab assistant is still open. So definitely encourage you to apply for fall. There's also a spring intake for medical lab assistant, although often we look at look for rural placements for that one as well too. So you all be placed in small towns in Alberta. So yes, so again, admission requirements, we are looking at whatever the admission requirements state on the website. So even if you've done, again, university courses or post-secondary, or if you've done other SAIT courses, we're looking at what did you get in math and English 30, and those pieces is what we look at. We try to have the same kind of foundational information for everybody, and so those are the courses that we're looking at, is we want to make sure that that it is your high school requirements, or again, talk to admissions if you've done some university courses that are very similar. Oh, I feel like it jumped on me again. Someone's asking if applications are based on first come first serve or grades. So it's based on a lot of different things. So it's not necessarily first come first serve. That being said, if we have a whole bunch of people who are equally qualified, then yes, it would be first come first serve. That's only if there's a tie. So generally it's based on the rubric for the program specific and Casper. Once you're meeting the academic requirements, so whether it's the 75% in our DI programs or the 70% in MLT with 75%, 60% in RT. So once you're meeting those academic requirements, then we look at the score on the rubric. Score on the rubric is exactly the same, then it's first come first serve. If someone has accommodations, are they able to use them for entrance testing? Absolutely. You can certainly work with our accommodations group to get those as well too. The test, so if you're asking about a program that's closed already, so DMS is closed, MRT, MLT I think is closed. The next test will be ready in the summertime. So you would be applying for fall 2025. So watch the website next summer for when those tests become available. The DMS program being very competitive, absolutely, you can apply again. Again, just make sure, so if you apply to a course and you don't get in 2024 and you want to try again for fall 2025, just make sure to do the test. So the tests don't, you have to do a new one each year. They don't, your score doesn't stay. Is the practicum for MLT and MLA done in Calgary? Jen, am I okay to answer this one, even though it's really not, but I know the answer? Okay, perfect. I think, oh, did you say yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So not necessarily. So the practicums, I see another one about practicums as well too. So practicums in all of our health programs have the potential to be in Calgary, but also outside of Calgary. And some programs like RT, someone else is asking about, often they're done like half of the time in Lethbridge, half of the time in Calgary. So we do ask for preferences, but know that you won't always get your preference. And so you will have to be available to move for practicum. So something else to keep in mind.
We were able to answer all the questions.
With practicum, how does that work if there's still classwork also to be completed? It's all done online. We have lots of great online courses and online resources. So you are in practicum, you're just doing your classes online. Just to clarify, when you say next summer for fall 2025, so I'm talking, yes, summer 2024, you can write the tests for fall for 2025. It does get a little bit crazy. Applications will open October for fall of 2025, but the applications open October 2024. So you could write the tests in the summertime, and then you'll apply to the program in October, and that will be for fall of 2025. Okay, that one's done. In DMS, how long is practicum? It's a year long. It's a year-long practicum. If we wanted to apply for MLA during the program and decide we wanted to move into MLT, do we fully retake the PSA? Yes, you do. So if you're in MLA and you go and you want to move into MLT, most people complete MLA and then decide to take MLT. Yes, you have to go through the full application process, the Casper or they don't do Casper, and the program specific test to get into MLT. Someone's not familiar with practicum. Is it something you go to every day or is it once a week? So generally it's every day. It does depend on the program. So some programs, like somebody asked about sonography, is like a whole year long, the practicum. If we think about something like, well, and maybe you're not here for this because it's not a PSEA, but our rehab program, you go for 2 weeks as part of each semester. So it is different. You can go on the website and look at the programs that you're interested in, and then you can look at the courses and see when the practicums are. Someone's asking if entire programs are done online. Generally, no. Most of the courses done here, but if you are doing any courses when you're in practicum and your practicum, say, is in Lethbridge, or even if it's in Calgary, you would do your courses online. What is the process for applying for academic accommodations for entrance? So for applying for academic, maybe Jen, can you put in the link to our accommodations? Awesome. Thank you so much. And that will be the most helpful rather than me trying to talk you through where it is on the website. Yeah, I think to the person who's asking about the courses in practicum, I think we have that all answered. Is the RT program competitive? Yes. I mean, all of our programs are competitive. So health and public safety has, I think Jen can probably attest to it, lots and lots of people applying into all of our programs. So yes, they are all competitive. The RT program does tend to be open a little bit longer than the other ones because they take a larger number. So they take 60 students into the program. So there's generally more seats. So their program is still, you can still apply for fall 2025 or fall 2024 for the RT program. Jen, you might have to help me with this next one. I don't know what the acronym FCFS stands for.
I'm not
sure either. Okay, I'm gonna
We
skip
could wait
that.
until
Okay.
Echo Zhang will verify what FS means.
Someone's asking how long the practicum is for MRT. It is also 1 year long. If somebody took medical terminology at NATE or somewhere else, is that transferable to SATE? Likely, potentially is my answer. So when you are accepted into our programs here, you can do a process called the PLAR process, where you submit, this is the course that I took at NATE or U of C or whatever it may be for medical terminology, and then we compare that with our current course and just make sure that we're meeting 80% of the same outcomes. So
it's actually first come, first serve.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, look at that. I've never heard of that acronym. Okay. First come, first serve is better to apply soon, even if the candidate doesn't meet the admission requirements. So yes, again, you're declaring your grades. So the sooner that you can apply and the sooner that you can write those tests, the better. There's a question about someone not being able to register for Casper. I'm not sure I quite understand the question. I'm going to go to the next one. There's more. So someone's asking about the program specific. Are they allowed to write on a blank piece of paper for working through math sections? It depends on the test. So some of the programs do allow you to, because their math questions are pretty challenging and other ones do not. So you'll get those instructions when you write the test, if you're allowed to write on a blank piece of paper. So the person's still asking about doing courses while you're in practicum. So if you're in practicum and you're in Lethbridge, the course would be online. If the final class is done in person, it maybe is like we're bringing everybody back for a week or something like that, then that might be the case. But if you're expected to be in practicum and do the course at the same time, it would be online. Someone's asking, how long do you have to write the Casper test after you've registered for a program? I think you mean applied for the program. As soon as possible. We encourage you to write the Casper test as soon as possible, because we're not able to offer you a seat until we have the results of the Casper and the program specific test. So yes. Accommodations for practicum placements? No, we don't have accommodations for practicum placements. In regards to like moving or anything like that, we let you know right up front that this is a possibility, and we don't guarantee that anyone will stay in Calgary. Does it matter when you take the entrance test? Is it better to do it right when they open, or just as long as they're done before the application? Yes, you can wait. Like, if you don't have to do it if we open it July 1st, you don't have to write it July 1st if you want to wait until August 1st or September 15th or that type of thing. Yes, as long as it's done before the application. We won't look at anything until we actually see that you apply. And when I say we won't look at anything, your test gets marked right away. It's all done online, but we don't look at offering seats or anything until we see that people apply. Someone's asking about details for program specific. So again, you can check the website for the details or watch the video that we showed about what the program specific test is like. And then again, can I make a request made to complete practicum in Calgary if I'm enrolled in other classes during that time? No, we don't guarantee that anyone has a practicum placement in Calgary. If you're doing courses for your program, they will they are, again, they're online, or something is happening so that you can be in practicum. The program is organized that way. Awesome, Jen. We are
Yeah, that
top
was fast. We were able
top
to keep
class.
up. Is the PSEA multiple choice?
Mostly. So there are some short answers in some of the program specific tests as well, but no, mostly multiple choice.
Great. While we wait for other people to type in their questions, I'd also like to invite everyone to our open house. Our open house is on March 9th. And you could register here, look at the schedule, join a campus tour, or speak to our advisors at SAIT. So if you're thinking about, financial options, the questions that you were asking here, that would be the perfect time to come and visit SAIT and also check out the campus. At the same time, if you're thinking about applying or looking into talking with admissions, especially about transfer options, that would be the perfect time, as our subject matter experts will be there during open house. All right, doesn't seem like we have any more questions, Jen. I think that's the end of the session. Let's see, one more here. Questions about practicums. Is it possible to be assigned outside Alberta to BC specifically?
It really depends on the program. Again, we often ask for a preference, but nothing is guaranteed. Great. Well, thanks everybody for attending. Really appreciate all the engagement and all the great questions.
see questions coming in.
Okay, a few more here. Is Casper looked at as a pass-fail? No, it's given a grade. So Casper is given a mark, and we look at that mark. How many questions are on the program-specific test? It varies per program, but we give you lots of time to answer the questions. Is there a reason DMS or RT only have one intake a year? A big part is our practicums. Because you have such long practicums in those programs, we don't have more availability for practicums. So that's why they're only one intake a year. What are the requirements for a permanent resident who's internationally graduated? Again, that would be a question to talk to admissions about, because they'll want to look at your like IQAS or your international assessment. And then someone's asking about the MLT program. If you haven't applied for fall 2024, it is closed. So you'd have to wait till fall 2025 to apply. And what kind of documents are required for admissions? It would be your academic requirements that are required for admissions, and then completing the Casper and the program specific test.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone. And thank you so much, Jen, for your time this evening. And we hope to see everyone here at SAIT, maybe this coming fall or in the next year. Bye, everyone. Have a great evening.
Thanks, Jen. Bye, everybody.